Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to another educational video by yours truly, Michael from Michael's Fishing. Grab yourself a pen and a paper, a healthy snack and beverage. Let's talk about fish medication. Alright fishy folks, welcome back to the channel. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mike, you're the handsome dumb guy with a camera with a good sense of humor. How are you going to learn us? And I was thinking the same thing as I'm thinking of ideas for videos, but then I realized I have a lot of knowledge from treating sick fish and stuff I keep in my fish room just in case. And I could share that. Now this comes from years of experience, talking to really smart people, asking questions, doing research on the interwebs. So I'm going to tell you what I keep in my fish keeping toolkit and let you decide whether you should keep it or not. Now, I just want to give you a couple disclaimers, okay? First, what we're going to talk about today is medicines. The actual tools, I'll do another video another time about actual tools, so just keep an eye out for that. Let's talk about disclaimers. First and foremost, this works for me. It might be unconventional, it might go against what you see on the interwebs or what you read on Facebook, and that's okay. It's important to know there's more than one way to do things in the world, especially in our hobby. So if what I'm telling you contradicts what you've read or seen or heard, that doesn't mean one or the other is wrong. It just means it's different. So just keep that in mind as you're listening. 2, I have guppies and plecos. Now I've kept other live bearers. I have angelfish and some cories upstairs, but for the most part, when I'm treating something, it's a live bearer, a guppy, or a pleco, and not really sensitive wild caught plecos, just bristlenose and some other, slightly more rare ones. So if you're treating shrimp or scaleless fish or something that's really sensitive, try it if you will, but just know I haven't tested it. I only know what I'm talking about from doing it on the fish I have. And the third disclaimer, and probably the most important, is a lot of the things we're going to talk about, a lot of these medicines will harm your beneficial bacteria because they're antibacterial. Common sense. But I know a lot of people don't have it, so I'm warning you. Just know that a lot of these medications will crash your cycle if you're not careful, so just be careful. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is quarantine. Now, my quarantine method has changed over the years because of the type of fish I'm getting, imports, but I use it on everything now. And I recommend quarantining every fish that you come in contact with for your tank or fish room or whatever you have. Whether you buy it from me and I've just quarantined it, you buy it from the local fish store, you buy it from the cleanest, best breeder in the world, I still recommend quarantining. Now, I'm going to do an actual full video on my quarantine method soon because a lot of people have been asking me. So I'm just going to go over what I use, not how to do it or anything. The first thing I do is I treat with salt. Now it has to be pure salt, not table salt. My go-to is kosher salt because it's cheap, but you can use aquarium salt or any other salt that's pure salt. I don't care about the brand as long as it's pure salt. This was on sale. I think it was less than $2. Salt is a go-to for me in the fish room now for many things. We'll talk about a little bit more later. Another thing I do for quarantine is I treat for ick or external type boogers, and my go-to right now is Fix Ick by Fritz. Now I used to use Ick X by Aquarium Solutions. This was like the go-to in the hobby for years, but somebody sent me Fix Ick from Fritz, and I don't really notice much of a difference, but I like Fritz products in general, so I've been sticking with the Fix Ick. But whatever you can get your hands on, that's what you should use. Another thing I do is I treat with Furan 2. Now Furan 2 by API is a antibacterial that treats gram-positive and gram-negative. Furan 2 is a mixture of 3 different really main ingredients, neutrofurazone and furazolidone and methylene blue. I don't know if I jacked those up. I'm just a dumb guy with a camera telling you what's in it. Gram-positive, gram-negative, antibacterial, broad spectrum. This will probably hurt your filter, your biological filter. The last thing I do for quarantine, and I keep in my fish room obviously as well, is I treat for internal parasites. Now my go-to treatment is levamisole flake, usually from Everything Aquatic. But if I don't have that, I do also use fenbendazole flake or the quad flake. You can also treat with levamisole or fenbendazole in the water column. I don't find it as effective. You can get like goat or cow or dog dewormer at many Tractor Supply or maybe even Petco or PetSmart. I think Prohibit is the name of one of them, but I like the flake food. You can make your own flake food as well. That might be a video coming up too, but like I said, I buy all my medicated food from Everything Aquatic. Quick note about Everything Aquatic, Dina is the owner. She's a great resource. Her website is fantastic. I know it's been under construction for some time. If you go to her website and are looking for medicated food and it's not there, just email her. She'll figure it out for you, okay? And that's my quarantine meds. Now, let's talk about salt some more. So salt, I used to think when I first started, salt was one of those old-timers myths that, you know, makes people feel better when they put it in the water or maybe add some minerals or whatever, but it actually truly works. In my Colmenares video, which I'll put a link up here, that Philip Hanby came up with this method for treating Colmenares, the salt is the key. And it definitely helps with bacterial infections. Salt can be used to help with dropsy or constipation. Generally, it's good to have in your fish room because you can use it for a variety of issues. And like I said, I use it for Colmenares and quarantine, antibacterial. It's great stuff, and it's cheap, so keep it in the fish room. While we're on the Colmenares thing, if you didn't see that video, check out that link. But the other part is methylene blue. Now, methylene blue helps with infections, and so fungus, basically fungal infections. And so a lot of breeders of egg layers use it if they artificially rear eggs. They'll add some methylene blue to help the eggs not fungus over. I did it when I was doing angelfish, and it works. I know some breeders that sell fish, that ship fish, especially big fish, or how do I say, aggressive fish, put some methylene blue in the bag that helps them stay calm and de-stress. Now, when I was researching this, I didn't know this, so this is something I haven't tried, but apparently methylene blue can be used to treat nitrate poisoning, ammonia poisoning, ick and velvet, and some swim bladder issues, as well as, like I said, stress. You can also use it as a dip for fungal infections. It's great stuff to have. You can buy it. Most fish stores carry it. Most online retailers carry it. I always keep it in stock. If I could buy it in bulk, I probably would, but I haven't been able to find it in bulk. So this is like a 4-ounce bottle. I think these are like $6 or $5 or something. All right, we talked about Furan 2. Let's talk about another medication called Morrison. Now, Morrison by Mardell or Fritz is a gram-positive antibacterial. It's the same thing, erythromycin. They're the same. Now, I remember buying this because I was trying to find another cure for Colmenares, because triple sulfa, the original cure that I talked about and used, and still works, by the way, triple sulfa is impossible to get in the United States. So, and it's really pricey. If you can find it, it's really expensive. So I was going to try the Morrison because I've read that you can use it to treat Colmenares. Unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, my friend Philip Hammond came up with that other method that he had been testing for a while, and that's what I recommend now. Salt and methylene blue, see it in the video. So erythromycin, which is erythromycin, and Morrison are the same thing. If you need erythromycin and can't find it, because I've heard it's hard to get, you probably can find Morrison. Now, Morrison is different than Morrison 2. Morrison 2 is similar to Furan 2 in that it treats gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. And I'm going to read this because I'm not that smart. Morrison 2 contains minocycline, which is another antibacterial that treats gram-positive and gram-negative. So if you're having an issue and Furan 2 isn't working, try Morrison 2 and vice versa. I wouldn't keep both in the fish room. Usually one will do, but you never know. If you're one of those people that always like to be prepared, like a Boy Scout, get Morrison, Morrison 2, Furan 2, and erythromycin. All right, let's talk about General Cure. This is General Cure from API. And General Cure, it says, treats parasitic parasitic fish disease. Hole in the head, swollen abdomen, wasting disease, gill and skin flukes. And this was my go-to for years also. And then I found better stuff. And but general cure is Prasi and Metro together. And I'm gonna read it again if I can pronounce it. Metronidazole and praziquinol. Metro is anti-protozoan. It can be used for, you can add it to food for internal issues, internal treatments. And the Prasi, gill flukes and worms. That's why we use it as a dewormer. Unfortunately, worms have been getting stronger and stronger over the years. That's why we got to go with the levamisole or the fenbendazole. All right, we talked about pretty much everything that I have in the fish room. I do have a couple other things. I do have Sulfaplex. If you're looking for triple sulfa, let me know. I will charge you an arm and a leg because I know it's expensive. But I have a bunch because that was the go-to medicine for Colmenares. That was the only thing that we had that I knew that worked. So I have a bunch. I want to charge an arm and a leg. I'll probably charge you what I paid for it. I also have fish amoxicillin. That was something I was trying when I was treating Colmenares, and this will definitely kill your beneficial bacteria. I don't use it. You can see this bottle is pretty much full. I think I may even have another full unopened bottle, but I have Equilibrium in the fish room just in case. This will help maintain a proper GH and KH. I don't really like using it because I don't like changing that, but for some things you have to be aware. And two other things I keep in my fish room. I do keep Fritzzyme 7, which, like I said, is a Fritz product that I really like. And it's basically bacteria in a bottle. It's the only bacteria in a bottle that I actually trust. I've tried other ones. Never really saw any difference. This, I have seen a difference. And the other thing I have in my toolkit is Net Soak, which, as you know, I clean all my nets once a week, but I do keep them in a bucket, and I do use Net Soak to help in that bucket. I'm fine. Take a drink of water. Ice cold water from the coldest water cup. Love it. Don't forget to check the link down below. You can buy some stuff from my store. I make some shekels. And of course, there's a contest you can enter. And when you go to my store and buy lots of stuff, there is a discount code FISHROOM for you to use as well. So I think that does it for my toolkit. My go-tos, just as a summary: salt, Fix Ick, Furan 2, and levamisole flake. Those are really my go-to. That stuff will mostly cure everything in the fish room, plus methylene blue. Methylene blue is great. I have considered treating preemptively for Colmenares on everything that comes in the fish room, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. So I do treat with my quarantine meds everything that comes in the fish room. If I buy it from a great friend who's a great breeder who I never have a problem with her fish, I treat anyway. Imported guppy orders, of course, because they're probably sick. And if I buy stuff in a swap or, from a local breeder or my local fish store, always quarantine and treat. And these are things, like I said, I keep in my toolkit. Let me know down below what you keep in your toolkit. I hope you found this video educational. If you did, share it with your friends, share it in your Facebook groups. And just remember, there's more than one way to do something. So just because my way is different or your way is different doesn't make one right or wrong. Have a great day, everyone. But I like ick products in general. I do treat with my quarantine brain fart. Hiya fishy folks, and welcome back to Michael's Fish Room. Today, another educational video from yours truly, Michael from Michael's Fish Room. Grab yourself a pen and a paper, a healthy snack and beverage. It was a burp. Welcome back, fishy folks. Today, an educational video from the dumb guy with the camera. Now, I know typically I'm known for my handsome looks and not really my brains and my humor and all, but no. So it's essentially EM erythromycin. It's the same thing.